Welcome to Hey Therapist. I'm your host, Leslie Ross. With me is my producer, Jay Wesley Lindley. Let's get mental. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hey Therapist. Sorry about the hiatus there. We are going to be recording episode 43 today. So we had vacation, and then I wasn't feeling well, and I didn't get up to the Washburn's home studio to record. So now I'm recording at home, and we're going to see how it goes. Today, we are going to talk about man versus bear. Now, I know I'm behind. I know. I'm sorry. I apologize. I was really trying to be on top of it. And I had conversations about it with lots of people, but we never recorded. So here we are going to talk about man versus bear. And it's one of those things that has been talked about a lot. So when we're talking about man versus bear, but let me back up. For those of you that don't know, and if you don't know, you're hiding under a rock. You've seen no memes. You don't watch TikTok, which good on you. But hey, here we are. There was a TikTok that was made, but it's been viewed around like 20 million times. This TikToker asked women on the street whether they'd be stuck in a forest with a man or a bear. 7 out of the 8, without barely missing a beat, said bear. This sent men up in arms. Like the chaos that was created for men to hear that a woman would prefer to be stuck in a woods with strange bear than a strange man it's unnerving. It's unnerving for all of us, right? You know, there was a lot of conversations men were having about pointing out survival skills and you would need us after the attack to save you. Totally missing the point. And if you still don't see the issues that women have with men, find one of these posts. Just find one and start reading the men's comments underneath it. The unintentional proof of this, the hypothesis or theory or whatever you want to say is so frustrating because it shows that many men don't genuinely understand, or they don't want to understand, or even consider what it feels like to never feel safe around the opposite sex. During all of this, I saw an Instagram post where one woman was like, I would definitely pick the bear. And yes, we know the bear is going to eat her, probably. But then underneath her comment, there was a man's comment or a bot's comment. I don't know, but it was male looking. And it said, the bear would eat her. It's not going to help her one bit. A man she could bond with to a point where he would work to help her survive in the woods, especially if she used her feminine traits. Like, come on, bro. You're proving the point. Again, you're proving that point that we're trying to make. Not necessarily that men are unsafe, but they always want something. Like there's no just helping out a woman. There's no just trying to keep us safe. There was one TikToker talking to her dad, who is a hunter, and she asked him what he would prefer for her. And he said, you would have a better chance with a bear. And then after he thought about it, he said, because men are evil. And I don't believe that all men are evil. That is not what this is. That is not what it ever was. So the TikTok creator of all this, it's Call Me BK, who claims to have started the debate, said he didn't even consider the question to be hypothetical. He points to the video where he says, if you're alone in the woods, seeing a man is 10 times scarier than seeing a bear. And it's true. And it has nothing to do, again, with those survival skills or being able to tell different bears apart, or if it's hibernation, or if they have cubs, or if it's a male bear or a female bear. Like it's not even what it's about. Like there's outliers in every group. It is not man hating. It's not any of that. So let's talk numbers. According to the 2022 data from the United Nations, almost 89,000 women and girls were intentionally killed. It shows that 1 in 3 women across the world have experienced intimate partner violence or non-partner sexual violence. And that includes domestic violence and rape. Also keep in mind, only 1 in 5 assaults are actually reported. Other studies show about approximately 85% of women are sexually assaulted in some way. The 2021 Bureau of Justice stats show that a percentage of female murdered by an intimate partner was 5 times higher for females than for males. 34% of females were killed by an intimate partner. Only about 6% of males were by intimate partners, and only about 17% were people they knew. The rest was just violence. When we're talking man versus bear, if you still don't get it, first off, talk to the women in your life. They'll help you understand. But the top 10 reasons that people stated, number 10 is that no one would question me about what I was wearing if the bear attacked me. No one's going to say I asked for it because my boobs were out a little bit, had some cleavage showing, had on a short skirt, whatever it is. No one's going to accuse me. Number 9 is no one would accuse me of liking it, because that happens to a lot of people. During a sexual assault, sexual violence, those types of things, a lot of women do pretend to enjoy whatever's happening, to make it go faster, to keep them out of harm's way, to let the individual who is assaulting them not be afraid they're going to run away or fight back. Because the reality is you can't always fight back. People always say, oh, fight back, fight back, fight back. And you might, and it might make it worse on you. A lot of times you hear the assault victim say it was easier to take it than fight back because I knew I couldn't fight back. I knew I couldn't win. The number 8 reason is a bear's motives are easier to understand. And this one hit me. Like this one, I'm on board for this one. Because if you're in the forest and a bear gets you, you know why. When a man assaults you verbally, physically, whatever, you don't always know why. Number 7, the bear won't accuse me of leading them on by being nice to them. You see, women have it a little differently, because if we're despondent or blow a man off, then they're probably going to say something shitty to us. But if we're nice to them and say, hey, okay, thank you, when they say something super inappropriate about our bodies or whatever, or coming on to us at a restaurant, at a gas station, whatever it is. Yeah, okay, yeah. And then someone gets assaulted. They're like, well, we saw you talking to them. Yeah, they were over there hanging out. I don't think people understand the struggle to say, get the fuck away from me. And what the repercussions might be if you do. So number 6, and this is a political hot topic right now, but it's true. I would not be forced to carry the bear's baby to term in 27 states, which I think it's more now, which is really sad. Number 5, the bear will either kill me or leave me alone. There's not a lot in between. There are not 400 more whatever other horrible things that the bear can do to me. It may feel like torture in the moment, but the bear is not going to just torture me. It's not going to leave me and come back and do the things that people do to each other. Number 4, bears don't traffic women. If it attacks me, then it's going to go on. It may kill me. It may maim me. But it's not going to capture me and take me and drug me and put me to use for the other bears around it for money. So yeah, bear. Number 3, a bear's friends won't come out to say how nice the bear is and how me speaking up is ruining this wonderful person's life. Not what it's done to the person that they've attacked, But, oh, they're so nice. Oh, I can't imagine, which is what we hear all the time. It's rarely the people that you look at and you're like, oh, that guy's a creep. I mean, it is. But there's also the super nice guys, the super rich guys, the super popular guys, the super handsome men who are still predators, who still want to harm women. Number 2 is no one will question if the bear attack really happened. I'm not going to have to prove it. I'm going to have the scars or I'm going to be dead. I don't have to go and do multiple interviews. I don't have to go to a hospital and have them do a kit on me to not be able to shower, to wash my clothes, my sheets, my car, whatever it is, wherever it happened. It's just going to happen. They're going to be like, oh, shit, bear attacked you. Yep. And number 1, the bear sees me as a human being. The bear is not looking at me as anything else but a human that's prey or that's in their woods. You know, there's a lot of places where bears are familiar with people. I mean, we have a ton of cabins and the bears are always around the cabins. They are not friendly. They are not yogi. They're not going to come hang out, but they're going to be around and they're kind of used to people. So they know what that is. And they either respect that or they won't. And there were a few that didn't make the top 10, which is a terrible top 10 list, by the way. But there were a few others that came out that are very true. If I survive the bear attack, I don't have to see it at family reunions. I don't have to go to dinners with it. I don't have to hang out with it. It's not my parent, my grandparent, my uncle, brother, cousin, whatever. I can just know that that bear is in those woods and not be there. The bear didn't pretend to be my friend for months beforehand. They didn't act like that shoulder to lean on, to take care of me, to be a friend, to come over, to hang out, and then attack me. A bear's not going to film it and send it to his friends or put it online or do some sexploitation with it. So wanting someone to pay money to make it go away, to make it not come out. And another user that I saw pointed out that people in general can lie. They make false promises. They downplay their own danger. And they could be way more predatory than a man would ever be. The bear you know is a predator. The man you don't. And it may be the man you know. And the bear's not going to apologize after and promise to never do it again. When in fact, they probably will. And I've seen so many comments replying to a woman choosing the bear that just make my skin crawl. And like I said before, it's men out there just proving the theory, because most of them give off the vibe that they would literally be part of the group of men that are the reason we choose the bear. And if we're in the woods alone, we understand there is a risk. As someone who hunts, I like to camp. I'm almost always armed. I mean, in the real world, I'm almost always armed. But in the woods, we're as prepared as we can be. We know the dangers. We know what's there. We're as vigilant as we can be. We understand that there are things in the woods that can kill us or ignore us. And we shouldn't have to take the same precautions when we're going to a mall, when we're in a parking garage, or walking downstairs, because there's rarely cameras in stairwells, which is why most women should take elevators, because most likely there's a camera in the elevator. Parking garages are super dangerous. Parking lots in general. We hear of people being assaulted and thrown into their cars all the time. We understand that there are fates way worse than dying or being maimed by a wild animal. Being injured by a wild animal that we are in the woods of, we can make sense of it, like we talked about before. I can make sense. Listen, I got a little too close. I wanted to get that picture. We see those people all the time in Yellowstone and those places getting just run over by buffalo and all of those things. And everybody's like, yeah, that was dumb. But sometimes women get the same response when we report an assault because we went to a bar by ourselves. Even if you're not intoxicated, even if you're not out there doing the things. Like, we went to a bar by ourselves and walked to our car by ourselves. And we are at fault for being attacked. The other thing that just kills me about this argument that a lot of men don't understand is, you don't see a man walking down the street or through the bar or through a restaurant or at the gym or just in Walmart, whatever, being hollered at. Hey, smile. You'd look better if you smile. Oh, that ass though. When we give them either ignoring, like, no thank you, like that, okay, yeah, or just flat ignored, we get a lot of times berated, disparaging remarks, threatening remarks. And if you are not a man that understands this, good on you. I appreciate the fact that you may be a good man and you don't understand that because you've never done that to a woman. But ask your female friends, ask your sisters, ask your moms at this age, ask your daughters, ask your nieces, whoever it is, whatever females you have in your lives. Ask them if a man has ever berated them or made them feel uncomfortable or scared or any uneasiness because they rejected their advance. And it's not even an advance. It's not even like, hey girl, like you're really pretty. I want to come over and say, hey. It's usually something like nice tits. And we keep walking and like, oh bitch, but, and you're just like, what? If you did that to a man, if a dude was walking by another dude and he was like, hey man, nice pecs. Unless you're at a competition, the man probably wouldn't respond either. Or he would be like, what the fuck, bro? And there would be a big argument because the guy that said it would think he was in the right. But yet we are supposed to stand up for ourselves and we are supposed to not take that seriously or think that they won't harm us. When you guys don't even say anything, you don't have other men out there saying, hey man, smile. You look better if you smiled. And some guy being like, oh my God, thank you. No, he'd be like, the fuck you say to me? Why do I need to smile? And there would be a confrontation. Just like if we do it. But y'all are two men. So it wouldn't escalate because you have the strength. We don't. Even if we're armed, we may not always have the ability to get to what we need to or whatever it is. Like, you're not out there making unsolicited remarks about other men's looks, about other men's faces, about other men's anything. Why do you feel so comfortable doing it to women? We don't like it. I'm just going to stand on it. I'm going to say it with my chest, 10 toes down. We do not like it. Stop. Like, if you want to give us a, hey, beautiful, have a nice day. And I say, okay, thanks. And you keep it moving, fine. But then don't follow me to my car. You make us uncomfortable. And again, I think a lot of men don't understand this is because they don't know what it's like to feel unsafe in public. The women I know, myself included, who have been sexually assaulted, verbally, physically, or both, are not man haters. We're not out here saying all men are bad, they're horrible, we don't want to have anything to do with them. We know there are genuine men out there that are willing to stand up and protect us. But what are you saying when we're not around? When your buddy or some dude at the bar or some dude at Walmart or some dude just at the mall, whatever, is saying these things to women, these inappropriate, out-of-pocket things to women, are you saying, hey man, cut that out? And if you're not, then it is all men. If you're not, why not? And if the answer is because I don't want a confrontation, welcome to our world. Like it's so hard to balance between being kind and being safe. And I think that was the whole point of this. Like, again, the point got missed. People are like, man, but you would need us to protect us. You would want us to come rescue you. It's not even about that. It's the fact that if we are alone and we come across a wild animal or a strange man, we're going to prefer the wild animal because I know how to act here. I can do whatever it says in the book. I can play dead. I can run. I can make noises. I can make myself bigger and make myself louder. But for a man, that may be a challenge. For a man, I may be nice. And he's like, oh, okay. And then when I reject the advances because we're alone in the woods, then I'm harmed. I wanted to make this episode because I want the men out there that listen. And I know there's not a lot, but if you're a man listening to this, you probably are already one of the good ones. You a real one. You're probably already taken up for women. But if you're not, please do. Say something to your buddies. Don't let the little boys act like that. If you're somewhere and someone is making comments to a woman, please stop them. And the point ultimately is to believe women when they say something happened to them, when they say they've been harmed, when they say they've been hurt, when they say your friend is a creep. Like, listen, don't leave me along with that friend. He's creepy. And when you say, oh, no, he's fine, he would never do anything, you don't know. You know how your friend acts around you. And you know how but you don't know how your friend would be alone with someone. You don't know what they're going to do because we never really know people. And when we say your friend is a creep, your family member is a creep, my family member is a creep, I don't want to be around them. Don't leave me alone with them. Please take that as seriously as you can. Understand that we are not statistically safe alone in parking garages and stairwells and clubs and with both headphones in, on a run, just at Walmart in the parking lot loading our groceries. Like, it's hard. And it's a struggle that men don't have to really deal with. Yes, there are women perpetrators out there. There are women that commit violence. There are women who are torturers. There are women who will do all of those things. Absolutely. But that's not what this is about. If you are a man in a domestic violence situation, then there's help for you too. Ask for help. Reach out. Report that person, because if you don't report them, the next person may not either, because they're going to think someone else did, or someone's not going to believe me. It's like we're seeing with all of these cults and information coming out. I just watched one about the 7M, some church, Shine church or something, where this dude is this weird preacher in quotation marks. And he targeted all of these TikTok dancers. He had been trying to get famous, doing other things. And then he started a church. And then while he had the church before the TikTok dancers, he was sexually assaulting people then. But he targeted all these TikTokers and put them under these contracts. And essentially they were slave labor. And he was also sexually assaulting the women, but no one believed it. And when the women went to report, the police department was like, well, we need more than one. We need more than one person. You have to get more people to report. More people have reported. Nothing has been done. 97% of rapists never spend a day in jail. They never have to answer for what they did. Whereas whoever was the victim of that assault, male or female, never spends a day where it's not in their mind. There's lots of treatment. There's therapy. We can move on from it. It can be something that happened to us, not something we live with, not who we are, but it's still there. There's still triggers. So I said all of that to say, believe your women. Believe us when we say it's creepy. Believe us when we say it's unsafe. If you are a good man and your friend is walking out to her car or going home alone, whatever it is, have them call you, have them check in. It's why there's so many of us that share our locations. It's why there's so many people who have a fake voice thing where they're like in a Uber or something and they play this thing like they're talking to a man if they have a man driver and they feel uncomfortable because this person's going to their home and we don't know what they're going to do. So just keep that in mind. And I realize there's a lot of jokes. And listen, I can appreciate a good meme. Not above a good meme. But when we're laughing about it, have the real conversations. Because it's scary. And it's why we all pick the bear. For my producer, Jay Lindley, I'm Leslie Ross. Thank you all for joining us. Please send any questions or comments through the website, heytherapist.com, or email help@heytherapist.com. They may be featured on the show anonymously. Hey Therapist is an SEOK radio production and is for your entertainment purposes only. Thank you for joining us. Make good choices.